swing, not to be.
Little touch shot by Scott Ayakatubby into the corner. Akatubby with 11 career wins. He's tied for 25th on the all-time list. Trying to move up and tie Tom Shamalis, who's right behind him. Big right-hander out of Santa Monica of yesteryear.
Ball tags the top of the net, side out.
Score remains 4-0.
Score with Nike, Kodak, and Coppertone. Back to serve.
Look at some of the numbers on Ak. First 4 seasons, this season, doing much better, along with Karai. And an ace for Johnson.
2 aces early for Adam Johnson sets the tone. These teams have met 7 times. Neither has won by more than 5 points, and that's the advantage we've got right now early.
Johnson and Loyola are out fast. Let's now go down to Bill Walton, who today is on beach patrol. Billy.
All right, Chris. You know, when Karch and Kent Steffers were not playing well, all of Akatubby's friends were urging him, hey, give Karch a call, give Karch a call, ask him to come back to you. Ak said, no, I'm not going to call him. He waited patiently. Finally, Karch called him. He called him up and said, Ak, I want to come back to you. Ak jumped for joy. Meanwhile, Karch went back and called Kent Steffes. Well, unable to reach him, just left a message for him. Kent Steffes undoubtedly very, very disappointed just to get the message machine notification there. Akatubby, his back's been a problem. He told me in between the last match and this one that it's a little stiff, but he's back feeling pretty darn good. Right now, though, he's got to start playing better volleyball because they're getting hammered.
5-0 is our score. This is the Miller Lite Championships. We're on live. Johnson and Loyola have just overpowered Karai and Akatubby at the moment. Oh my gosh!
Hey, you got to start asking, is there a better player on the beach in the last month than Jose Loyola? He's been blocking balls, serving extremely well, playing exciting volleyball. AJ's been a superb offensive complement, but Loyola's starting to do the big things. He's starting to block very, very well.
And he has Scott Ayakatubby in the biggest closet that you can imagine right now. Karai and Akatubby down 6-0 to AJ and Loyola. Live in Hermosa Beach, California, Miller Lite Championships. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, Bill Walton. We are witnessing a whooping. Johnson and Loyola are crushing Karai and Akatubby. They're serving hard. Loyola's gotten his hand on virtually every spike by Akatubby. And finally, Ak sneaks one through.
2 things Akatubby and Karai have to do. First of all, in spite of the fact that they are not siding out well, I think they've got to be much more aggressive jump serving. Karch's talking about getting the ball on AJ. I don't care who you serve. You got to serve tough because AJ and Loyola are coming back with bullets. Then they must start siding out.
Working on Loyola. You know, Loyola told me something very interesting. I said, how do you feel about this match? He said, we're going to show that there are more than 2 volleyball players on tour. It's not just Karch and whoever he plays with. Karch and Kent, Karch and Scott Ayakatubby. We're going to show that Adam Johnson and Jose Loyola are also a great team, and there are other great teams on tour. I don't know how much he has to prove, but certainly he's come out playing very, very enthusiastically.
Well, like I just said, is anybody playing better individually or as a team? Adam Johnson and Jose Loyola struggled last week at the Cuervo, very difficult round-robin format, but they have bounced right back here at the U.S. Championships.
Ball ticked to net on the serve. Crowd doesn't like it, so give the ball to Adam Johnson and Jose Loyola. Adam Johnson was playing with Randy Stokos before he got together with Loyola. Loyola was playing with his countryman, Anginho. They signed a 5-tournament contract. They said, we'll play together for 5 and see how we do. And interestingly, they won a tournament. I think the 5th tournament they played in, they won. A lot of people thought they might even break up. They weren't playing very well at the start of their relationship.
Now it's got an automatic rollover clause.
Well, now they're in love.
That's
now
right.
They're in love.
It renews itself every week. One at Manhattan. Have had a great deal of success in the last 6 or 7 weeks. Adam Johnson and Jose Loyola. And Karch, yeah, he's starting to go for it now, jump serving. I tell you, 2 minutes have gone by in the game already, and Karch and Ak have yet to score a point.
How about the Manhattan Hermosa double, 1977, one of the greatest teams of all time. Dodd and Hoplin did it, and those other guys a little bit later.
Come on.
Whoa!
Well, just like you did at Hermosa in Manhattan, if you walk the walk, you can talk the talk, and that's what Jose Loyola is doing. Another stuff block. 4 stuff blocks for Jose Loyola. This time, getting Karai. Just trying to lob the ball over him, and he can't do it. Loyola just flying too high.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. Karai and Akatubby trying to regroup. They are getting blown out 7-0. Bicycle traffic at the Miller Lite Championships here in Hermosa Beach, California. Johnson and Loyola trying to win their second major in 2 weeks. They won Manhattan, and they are up 7-0 on Karai and Akatubby. The pro Akatubby Karai crowd has been very quiet because Akatubby and Karai have not been in this one so far. Akatubby to serve. Johnson, ooh, and Akatubby missed it. Adam Johnson getting up high and putting it away.
Ak in good defensive position, getting stopped as the ball is hit at him so he can react in any direction, just barely out of reach. Really a point scoring opportunity, and came off a pretty tough jump serve.
I think the whole key now to the match is if Johnson and Loyola can continue to serve hard. If they do, Akatubby and Karai won't win because they'll get points periodically. But if the Johnson serve goes off and Loyola goes off, they have a chance to come back. So I think eventually Karai and Akatubby will get a rhythm siding out. But the question is, can they score some points?
Loyola and Johnson have been serving this way the entire tournament. Part of the problem, and one of the reasons they struggled at the Cuervo last week, it was at Boulder, Colorado, almost 6,000 feet. The light air takes a lot away from the velocity of your jump serve. You can hit it harder, but it doesn't come down.
Ace for Loyola.
And back at sea level, that one came down on the last fiber. I'm not sure this was passable at all. This is location. Loyola didn't hit it that hard. He's just going deep loopy. Very, very close.
8-0 as Loyola is tearing it up. Akatubby drives it down the line. Good shot. Last time these two teams played in the final, I believe, was Chicago. And remember that one? That was on NBC. Johnson and Loyola missed, I believe, 19 serves.
And it was 12-9 on time. They were in that match the whole way. Their serving game just let them down.
Crowd trying to get Akatubby going. It's tight. Karch blocks it, and they got a point.
Karch Kiraly doesn't get this excited very often with 1 point, but he knows that's a big one. AJ just up into the block, very, very similar to when Karch was playing with Kent Steffes at Seal Beach. Just enthralled getting a point on the board. That time it was against Dodd and Whitmarsh.
5:19 to play, 8-1 as Karai and Akatubby finally get on the board. A reminder that Notre Dame football is back on NBC. The number 8 Fighting Irish taking on Northwestern. That will be next Saturday, 2:30 p.m. right here on NBC. Now high above Scott Ayakatubby, as his team has just scored a point after giving up 8 in a row to start this game off. Yes, 8 in a row.
Took him 2 minutes, 40.4 seconds to get on the scoreboard of game time.
Bad set. Akatubby can't get there. Pretty good poke, pretty good location by Adam Johnson.
AJ and Loyola are passing and setting the ball extremely well. Neither set the ball with their hands any longer. Have disdained that for the much more conservative bump set, but it's location, 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 just like in Southern California real estate.
And he's blocked again. Jose Loyola, he's not only blocking him, he is drilling. He's into the China syndrome. 5 stuff blocks, 9-1. You're watching the AVP on NBC. Can you believe it? A little earlier, we were talking about the history of volleyball. Well, Volleyball Magazine just came out with an article on the 100 most influential people in the history of volleyball. And interestingly, we were name number 10. Unfortunately, number 9 was Dancing Marvin Hall. That was actually number 1 was Karch Kiraly. And they also named the best beach players. And Bill Walton, you had a comment on this. You don't like Karch Kiraly?
I've been following beach volleyball very closely for 25 years. 2 of the top players I ever saw, Jim Mingus and Greg Lee, surprisingly not on that list. Now, of course, I'm not as old as you, Chris and Paul, so I didn't see all the really old players. I did see Von Hagen and Selznick, of course. But Greg Lee and Jim Mingus, 2 of the all-time best players, dominant in the 70s.
Hey, Bill, who would you put him ahead of on that list?
Well, Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland for sure.
Oh, that's the wrong list. That's the problem. That's like putting you ahead of Kareem, Bill, on that list.
It's too short a list at 6.
All right.
I would agree with that.
All right. But Ron Von Hagen.
It's all we could fit on the page, Bill.
Named to the first team, the 2 best beach players of all time. There's one of them. The other, Ron Von Hagen, watching today up in Telluride, Colorado.
Sure,
with
a lot
his
of
18 dogs.
Sure, a lot of characteristics and traits on the court.
Yeah, powerful. Well, so far, this has been just a manhandling. Johnson and Loyola have looked unbelievable. Not only are they serving well, Paul, but they're siding out exquisitely, and the blocking of Loyola has been fabulous. 5 stuff blocks, and now it is 10-1.
Adam Johnson, one of the best defensive players on the beach, and has been voted that the best defensive player on the AVP Tour a couple of times, has no digs in this match. That's how easy it's been. Either errors by Karai and Akatubby or Jose Loyola is blocking everything at the net before it has a chance to get to Adam Johnson.
A full timeout taken by Karai and Akatubby. We got to take another break. We're coming back. Can Karch and Ak come back? Stay with us. We'll find out. Golick, one of the fiercest Oakland Raiders. He looks like a pussycat, doesn't he? He'll be working with Jim Lampley next weekend. Kansas City, Seattle. As you look at the slate of games coming up, the NFL on NBC, and it all starts next weekend. Here at the Miller Lite Championships, it's been all Adam Johnson and Jose Loyola. They are playing like Ron Von Hagen, Gene Selznick, and Ron Lang.
Like everybody on that list, exactly right.
Johnson seeking to put his name into the record books. Aces. Trying to think of a dismembering like this at a major championship, Paul, maybe a couple of years ago at Manhattan.
That one wasn't as tough as some of the earlier ones. I think Karai and Akatubby starting to think that Johnson and Loyola unbeatable at this point.
Karch, AJ is there.
First week of the match.
And he loops it down the line.
They're playing perfectly. What are you going to do? To go to point number 12, Adam Johnson, one of the best defenders on the beach, gets his first dig and transition opportunity. That's how effective Jose Loyola has been once again blocking, and ineffective Karai and Akatubby have been siding out. Their offense is just not there.
Turning up sweet for Adam Johnson. His wife Jennifer is a teacher, and there she is. She's expecting her first child in November. She told me confidentially, don't tell anybody, Chris, but I'm going to name it Jose if they win this tournament. No, I'm just kidding. There is
Jennifer playing
Johnson.
Like this, you'll have
Jose
Joseph anyway.
Jennifer and AJ, wow, 4 aces, 7 kills, a dig. 12-1. And the Akatubby fans are just stunned. And there are plenty of them here.
Karch back to serve.
So Karai back to serve. The Akatubby pack is quiet at the moment.
And it takes a lot to quiet that group down.
Johnson cross court.
Johnson down.
Let's stuck in some other finishers. Kent Steffes, Randy Stokos finished 4th. Mike Dodd, Mike Whitmarsh, Eric Fenoy, Moana, Rob Hyger in 5th. Curtis Griffin and Burke Stefko. A great finish. They got 7th along with Canyon Seaman and Tim Hovland. 12-1 our score. And Loyola is there again. He looks like Craig Buck up there, the former Olympic star, the USA national team.
Well, I'll tell you, right now, this looks like Mike Tyson versus Peter McNeely. It's had about as much drama it had a lot going in. These two teams had gone back and forth at each other through 7 matches all summer long. All of them very close.
Johnson stumbles and he still gets it. Off Karai. Wow. 14-1. Wow. We'll take another timeout. You're watching the AVP on NBC. Back live in Hermosa Beach, California. A little earlier, we mentioned that Karch Kiraly had sewn up the Miller Lite Cup. He wins $125,000. A little earlier, a presentation by Rich Ryder of Miller Brewing Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is time to make our Miller Lite Cup presentation. Joining me on stage is Jerry Solomon, the Executive Director of the Association of Volleyball Professionals, and Rich Ryder from the Miller Brewing Company, the Manager of Event Services. Rich?
Thanks, Sam. The $1 million Miller Lite Cup rewards the top 64 players on the AVP Miller Lite Pro Beach Volleyball Tour. Points have been accumulated all season long, and Miller Lite is now proud in Hermosa Beach to present Karch Kiraly as the leader in points for 1995, the Miller Lite Cup victory, and $125,000 first place.
Karch, the all-time leading money winner on the AVP Tour, obviously winning a ton of more money today. I talked to him earlier. He said he's going to earmark this money for his 2 young boys, age 5 and 3, for them to go to college. Karch is definitely the dedicated family man. Chris?
So Corey and Christian should be well set. Karch going over $2 million, but he is taking the shellacking of his life right now. 14-1. We thought Seal Beach was bad. This is even worse. They're just out of it. It's not bad play either. It's good play by the other team.
Well, let's also remember Seal Beach was a $100,000 tournament total prize money.
Yes.
Here's $100,000 to the winners. Jose Loyola, Adam Johnson are going to split $100,000. Showed Karch getting the Miller Lite Cup for his performance all season long. Unless there's a miraculous comeback, Adam Johnson will finish 4th overall and Jose Loyola 6th overall.
Loyola can't pass Akatubby.
No.
Come on. Okay, Akatubby gets one up. And a little grouper by Karch. And how about that? A point.
Boy, point scoring opportunities have been so few and far between. Perfect siding out. Control of the volleyball by Jose Loyola and Adam Johnson. Passing, setting, hitting. Those are the fundamentals. And communication. They really call effectively for one another. After Loyola calls the ball, sets the ball, I should say, he'll call to Adam Johnson. Cut line. He's very good at that.
I think a lot of people forget that Adam Johnson is the reigning king of the beach. He won that title from Karch last year. And he's going his 2nd championship point right here. And this could be it. Johnson, who won it all here in '91. Not yet. Karch goes and spears it. And puts it away. Never know when a little play like that could spark a rally. Don't think it's going to happen, but there is time for it. Over 4 minutes.
Hey, the longest journey starts with the first step, and albeit that was a very little one.
3 sands, 2 fulls.
They need about 5, 6 aces.
And Johnson takes a sand timeout. So Adam Johnson and Jose Loyola, after running it up 14-1, and they booed by the crowd. Loyola and Johnson have turned out to be one of the most formidable teams on tour.
The original iced tea experience, Nestea iced tea.
Some numbers on Jose Loyola. He technically has 5 wins. He won an international tournament back in Argentina way back when. 4 this year. The Washington, D.C. Indoor, Seaside Heights, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and 2 weeks ago in Manhattan. 14-2. And Johnson hits it into the bottom of the net. I'll give you some other finishers. Troy Tanner, Eric Wirtz, Brent Gonerman, Rico Guimaraes, Dane Blanton, Ian Clark, Kevin Martin, David Swadek in 9th place. And for all you Ricky Luty's fans, Brent Furhoff, Ricky Luty's finished out of the money this week, 25th. Akatubby into the net.
Start thinking about some of the greatest comebacks we've seen of all time. You know, if we're talking about miracles, one happened this year in Clearwater. Dodd and Whitmarsh were down 12-5 to Loyola and his former partner, Anginio. Championship point once again.
Third one. And that ball's on the line. I remember one time playing with Steve Obradovich. We played Bob Vogelsang and his partner. We were down 10-1 in a game to 11 and won 12-10. Of course, that wasn't this. 14-3 is a little different story. Akatubby.
Come on.
Johnson over to Karch. AJ.
If that one would have landed in the court, I think Karch would have just walked underneath, shaken hands with both Jose Loyola and Adam Johnson and said enough is enough. But they moved to 14-4.
And into the net. So another championship point coming up for Johnson and Loyola. AJ. Cleared for take-up.
The difference between first and second, $78,000.
Serve out of bounds. If you're Karai and Akatubby, you're just hoping that someone breaks his leg.
Well, you got to keep playing.
Right.
You never know what's going to happen. But without a bunch of aces, I don't think they can do it. And look at Adam Johnson pass the ball.
Johnson looping it down.
High looping shot good for the side out. Loyola serve.
And so Jose Loyola, check Loyola's aces. How many does he have?
Well, Loyola's only got one. Adam Johnson's got 4. And why not go for another now?
Championship point. Akatubby, Karai trying to hang in. Johnson got it over. Akatubby got it down. And Loyola complaining that Karai threw that ball. He's pointing at Jim Leonard.
Well, given Jose Loyola's comments, you know, I feel that, you know, through the course of the year, maybe he feels he's not getting the respect that he deserves at this point in time, and letting the official Jim Leonard know it. You know, don't cut those guys more slack than you give anybody else.
Johnson takes time out. If Loyola keeps pointing at all the referees, he'll get what he deserves eventually. So Loyola and Johnson, they've slowed it down. They're still in command. They're still going to win, we think. Back live at the Miller Lite Championships, 3:25 to go in the game. Johnson and Loyola leading 14-4. However, about a minute ago, it was 14-1. So Karai and Akatubby, in terms of a bell curve, are doing much better.
A major run right now.
Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, Bill Walton working on AJ. He has not looked great in his last 2 swings, although that one a nice placement into the right side. Johnson and Loyola led 8-0, 12-1, 14-1, and now have another championship point.
They've had one swing for the championship. Adam Johnson, he was dug by Karch Kiraly.
Number 6 for AJ. And Akatubby seems to have found his rhythm. He puts it away.
Karch setting him a little bit farther off the net, so Loyola, with that great jumping ability, isn't right in your face on top of you as you're swinging at the ball, and also letting things go a little bit here towards the end.
Let me ask you just a hypothetical question. We know it's not going to happen.
Make sure it's a correct hypothetical.
If you're Johnson and Loyola, when are you thinking that you're a little worried? When are you saying, oh, gosh,
not yet.
Not yet. Okay, not yet. 14-5, folks.
14-8, 14-9, I would start to get real worried.
And that's out of bounds as Karch trying to rev it up.
Loyola attempting championship point.
And Loyola's going to the float serve.
He's focusing on one thing right now, blocking one ball.
And maybe running a little time. Bad set by Karch, and Johnson has a chance. He's got it up for the championship. And that's it! And he's going to his family, Jose Loyola. He's taking the flag. Some of the crowd doesn't like it, but I think it's great. Crowd is pro Akatubby, Karai, and Jose Loyola.
Well, it wasn't so long ago that no foreigner had ever won an AVP tournament, ever. Jose Loyola became the first foreigner to win Manhattan, the first foreigner to win Hermosa. And I'll tell you, if Brazil wants to compete for an Olympic gold medal in Atlanta, they better think about reinstating his eligibility. Right now, he cannot represent Brazil. When this video gets down there, they're going to rethink their position.
And of course, for Adam Johnson, another sweet victory. He won here back in 1991 with Ricky Ludes. He does it again, this time with Jose Loyola. Johnson and Loyola, yes, as they smoke Karai and Akatubby. One of the most dominating performances in the history of beach volleyball, especially in a major championship. The #1 seeded team of Karai and Akatubby could do nothing with the power of Jose Loyola and Adam Johnson. This was game point. Johnson with a little cut, a la Ron Lang of yesteryear, and that was it. $50,000 apiece going to Loyola and Johnson. Let's go down to Bill Walton. Bill. Go, Bill.
All right, Chris, here were some very happy winners today. Adam, of all the players on the tour, you and Jose seem to be the most confident playing against Karch and Scott Ayakatubby.
Well, we've had, throughout the season, I think we were pretty even right up there, and I think this is the first time we beat him in the finals. We had to get a little revenge from back in Chicago, but today's our day. We had a great tournament, and finals couldn't have been better.
And Jose, one of the most fierce competitors I've ever witnessed. What do you do to get yourself so fired up out there? You had the crowd in the palm of your hand, you had them booing you. What do you do to get up out there?
Wow, it's tough because I came from Brazil and I see this whole thing here. It's huge for me, and the crowd, the sand in California makes me so fired up. On the beginning, I want to beat this guy so bad. The way Adam said, we never had beat those guys in the final. That's the first time. I'm really happy about that.
And you had the opportunity to parade around with the flag.
Oh yeah, definitely, a little bit. That's my first time. I gotta have the flag.
All right, let's go over to Paul Sunderland with Karch and Scott Ayakatubby.
All right, down courtside with obviously a very disappointed Karch Kiraly and Scott Ayakatubby. You played that team so close all season long, played them 7 times. Neither team had won by more than 5. Where did it get out of control? Or has anybody ever played better against you than they did in that final?
They just served really well. They played really well. They deserved to win.
Karch, shades a little bit, I'm sorry to say, of Seal Beach. Just against a team that was just playing too well?
They had everything going their way. I mean, they created all their own breaks, and they deserved to win, definitely. They were the far superior team today. We tried to get a little mini run going at the end there, but when you fall down 14-1, you have almost no hope of winning, and we had to side out a lot better than that and make the game go longer in order to score some points.
Scott, we spent a lot of time together starting very early this morning. Did it get to you a little bit? You wanted this maybe a little bit too much?
No, I felt fine. It's just Adam and Jose, they're just on today, and I really couldn't do anything about it.
Well, it'll take a little while, but you'll certainly get yours here at Hermosa. Some dejected losers, but let's give credit to Adam Johnson and Jose Loyola. They were near perfect today. Back to you, Chris.
So Scott Ayakatubby's dream of winning at his home beach goes out the window as Brazil celebrates. Now let's go to our Prudential Update studio and Greg Gumbel.